DC News Now.
More showers and storms in the area as we have another DMV First Warn Day. What does it mean for you and I? We'll talk about that coming up.
President Trump threatening to take over of D.C. Hear what he had to say next.
Well, a 20-year TSA policy comes to an end, and now getting through security will be a little bit quicker. I'll have the details.
Also, save on your next visit to the beauty aisle. We're stretching your dollar.
We have camps that will fuel your block builder's imagination.
And using games to teach kids the power of coding with AI. Learn more in today's Tech Talk.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Meteorologist Scott Sumner joins us with the latest check on the forecast. And Scott, when you go outside, you can feel that humidity. But the question that many people have right now is, will we have storms again this evening?
Yeah, Mark, it looks like it's going to be the same as what we had yesterday afternoon. We started off quiet in the morning hours, got to the noon, nothing going on. I look outside our weather window. There are some clouds out there, some cumulus clouds around the region, but no storms just yet. We'll get into that aspect of the afternoon forecast by mid to late afternoon and going into the early evening, so that's kind of the same. Now let's go to the graphics and I'll show you. We have a flood watch that was in effect yesterday. Well, it's reintroduced again today. Pretty much the same time frame. Excuse me there, 2 to midnight, as you see, all the counties that are shaded in green. So that does include the Beltway area, of course, D.C., all the way out towards the Shenandoah Valley and parts of the Cumberland Valley here along Interstate I-81. Now, as far as current temperatures are concerned, not quite as hot as we were yesterday, situated at 87, but it feels like it's 97 out there. So yeah, it is going to be a little soupy to say the least, or steamy if you will. Now, these are the actual temperatures in D.C. A 12-hour time lapse is showing into the future what we have. We'll get up to about 90 for an actual temperature, with heat indices up to about potentially 100 degrees before they start to fall as those storms start to move on in. But right now, not bad. And early this morning as well. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, taking up right to the current time frame. Satellite shows, yeah, some clouds out towards Garrett and Allegheny County, but that's about all that we see in the viewing area. As far as rain showers, we're holding off on that at this particular moment in time. Again, I'll show you the future cast with my full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Scott, thank you. Travelers headed out of town may notice a change at airport security that could make going through TSA a little faster. DC News Now's Jean-Marie Cissé spoke to passengers about how they feel about the change.
If you've been in a rush at the airport, you know how annoying it can be when you have to stop and take off your shoes. Well, guess what? That is no longer a requirement. There's been a nationwide change, and it's in effect right here at DCA.
Whether to put on slip-ons or tie, and I wear the tie because they're more comfortable.
Joe Bradley couldn't decide what shoes to wear as he was getting ready for the airport. But now that no longer has to be a concern. After nearly 2 decades, taking off your shoes at TSA is officially a thing of the past.
I enjoy that very much because it's a pain to have to take them off and put them back on.
I think it's really great that now that's going to be an opportunity for everyone.
Back in 2006, TSA implemented the no shoe policy after a man attempted to go through security with a bomb in his shoe years prior. But with technology advancement and a pilot program that proved the agency could still keep airports safe without the extra step, the change was announced Tuesday.
We are very confident that we can continue to provide hospitality to folks and for American travelers and for those visiting our country while maintaining the same standard of security for passengers and for our homeland.
For passengers like Antoine Turan, he says the change has already made his airport experience easier.
We went through Orlando, MCO, and we had to keep our shoes on. And I'll tell you what, it was no line. We went through fairly easy, so I think it speeds up the process.
And many trust new technology.
With the scanning equipment that they have out there now, it seems like they should be able to determine what's in your pockets and your bags and that kind of thing without there being such a slowdown.
Now officials say you'll only have to take off your shoes if you require additional screening, and they also say TSA pre-check is a lot easier because you're not required to take out any liquids or your electronics. Reporting here at DCA, I'm Jean-Marie Cissé, DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Jean-Marie. The Supreme Court now clearing the way for President Trump to continue downsizing the federal workforce. The court overrode the lower court's ruling that temporarily froze the cuts. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was the only dissenting vote. She warns that allowing the Trump administration to downsize the federal workforce will cause widespread cancellations of federal programs and mass layoffs. And the president once again has floated the idea of taking over D.C. It's not the first time that President Trump has done so in his 6 months since taking office. Our Candace Cole has more from the National Mall.
During Tuesday's cabinet meeting, President Trump floated the idea of taking over D.C. while responding to a question about New York City's Democratic mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani.
If a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same, but we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to. We could run D.C.
Trump went on to say that his administration has a good relationship with D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, and they're, quote, testing to see if it works. Trump has long been critical of how the district is run. Referencing crime in D.C., Trump said his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, is working with Mayor Bowser, saying
they're doing all right. I mean, in the sense that we would run it so good, it would be run so proper, we get the best person to run it.
D.C. has been under home rule for over 50 years, allowing residents to elect their own mayor and city council. However, the federal government still maintains some oversight. D.C.'s U.S. Shadow Representative Oye Owalewa says Trump's comments make the push for statehood even more important.
Just another Trump threat to our home rule and our self-autonomy. You know, when we fight for D.C. statehood, it's not just about voting rights. It's our ability to essentially have control over our own lives, our budget, the way we're able to vote for our mayor and things like that.
D.C. residents we spoke with agree.
I would love for D.C. to be a state, so definitely don't want the federal government to take over.
I don't agree with it. No, of course not. I want to be able to do our own voting, our own thing.
A federal takeover of D.C. has also been floated in Congress. We reached out to the mayor's office. They declined to comment. Reporting from the National Mall, Candace Cole, D.C. News Now.
All right, Candace, thank you. Developing now, D.C. Police and the FBI are partnering up to offer an increased reward of $40,000 in the deadly shooting of a young man in the district. They're seeking information in last week's shooting of 21-year-old who was a congressional intern and a rising senior at UMass Amherst. Eric Tarpinian-Jackham was just joined Congressman Ron Estes' office last month. In the statement, the representative from Kansas says that Eric had a kind heart and greeted everyone with a smile. Investigators say that Eric was not the intended target when he was shot and killed at 7th and M Street. With devastating new developments in Texas this afternoon, death toll surpassing 100 as officials continue their rescue and recovery efforts. Severe damage also caused by the deadly floods. The floods damaged bridges and also shifted cars and even moved a house off of its foundation. Deadly floods also devastating a summer camp there. And the search and rescue efforts continue this afternoon in Central Texas. The governor says that more than 160 people are still missing. Early Friday morning, the wall of water swept people, including dozens of children, miles away. When first responders went out to search for people, they found them clinging to trees and calling for help. But officials say it's been 4 days since they've been able to locate anyone alive. Swift water rescue teams from Virginia have been sent to help with search efforts. Governor Glenn Youngkin spoke about the tragedy, saying that first responders jumped in to save his family in Texas. President Trump and the First Lady are planning to visit the region on Friday. All right, we're helping you stretch your dollar with how to keep your hair healthy during these summer months. And experts say that salon services are 25% more than 5 years ago. DC News Now's Haley Milan with more on where you can save and where you should actually splurge.
Got no shortage of great options for products and services here in the DMV, but like so much in our region, it can get pretty pricey. So I'm bringing you expert advice to show you what you need to splurge on, what you can do yourself at home, and what you can even buy here at the dollar store.
You don't really need the really expensive products for your hair because, I mean, technically your hair's dead.
Hairstylist Emily Androsky, owner of Max and Joe Salon in Loudoun County, says luscious locks don't require big bucks. Do skip the cheapest shampoos and conditioners, but no need to splurge. Stick with trusted, mid-priced brands. Salon services like color or braids can cost hundreds of dollars, so protect your investment.
I definitely recommend not going in the pool. When I'm at the pool or the ocean, my hair's tied up in a ponytail with a hat. to make sure it doesn't get the sun exposure.
Some shampoos deposit temporary color, great for stretching time between treatments. For deep conditioning, try do-it-yourself masks using expired groceries like avocado and eggs. Hair growth products too pricey? Grocery store rosemary essential oil is said to work wonders. A bottle costs a few bucks, and it'll last you all year. Androsky offers hair extensions, but for a budget-friendly trial,
I've also purchased clip-in hair extensions on Amazon for myself.
cosmetology schools in the DMV offer salon services done by students, supervised by pros.
You just have to be prepared. You're going to be there probably for a couple hours, but it's a good money saver.
Save on clips, ties, and brushes. Dollar store is fine. But don't skimp on the heat tools.
I've definitely seen those blow dry brushes literally burn off people's hair.
Stick with reputable brands. You can even find used tools on Facebook Marketplace. And guys, keeping it clean takes upkeep. Extend the time between your cuts by trimming your neckline at home with clippers.
I'm Haley Milon, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Haley. We're continuing to follow the devastating destruction from flash flooding in central Texas after the break. Hey, Scott.
Hello, Mark, and hello to you on this Wednesday, hump day as I like to call it. We've got another day of some heat and humidity, maybe not as extreme as yesterday, but certainly up there, and that's going to fire up some thunderstorms. The timing of those thunderstorms is coming up.